7.
Now at 5 o'clock, we're celebrating July 4th. Thousands of people are expected to pack into downtown Boston for the Esplanade extravaganza. The stage is set. We'll tell you what you need to know before you head out the door later today.
And it's going to be a hot one today, what you can expect when you're barbecuing and when you're watching the fireworks.
Plus, what President Donald Trump has in store for the one-of-a-kind 4th of July celebration in our nation's capital and why he's defending his decisions today.
And several injured in a violent stabbing in Worcester when police say a man attacks a woman in a restaurant and Good Samaritans jump in to stop it.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
Good morning, everybody, and happy 4th of July. It's Independence Day, and we want to start this 5 o'clock hour with a live look at the lines outside of the Esplanade. People waiting to get that prime location on the grass right up front close to the stage. They can see Keith Lockhart and the Boston Pops perform on that stage. Queen Latifa's going to be there, the fireworks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for spending your holiday here with us. I'm Chris Anderson.
And I'm Madeline Hunt. In about 4 hours, the gates are going to open up to the Esplanade for today's extravaganza. And we're going to have Team 7 coverage of the celebration, covering the festivities, the weather, and the best ways to get into the city. Lots of traffic expected today, but we want to start off with Chris Lambert, who has today's forecast. He's live at the Esplanade this morning. Chris, what kind of temperatures should we be prepared for today?
Temps running mid-80s in and around the city of Boston, including out here at the Charles River. A little bit cooler along the immediate coastline at the beach, and temperatures eclipsing the 90-degree mark for many communities inland. So here we are on this beautiful 4th of July morning, just about 10 minutes or so from the sunrise. Going to be a beauty of one. You can already see some pinks and some reds on the eastern horizon there with a little bit of cloudiness into the mix. But all in all, it's a quiet start to the day in a very calm Charles River. It's very peaceful at the moment here. Hard to believe, so much commotion, so much partying, so many festivities going on later today when you have a very quiet start to the morning like this. Weather-wise, fortunately, we're very quiet too. Temperatures running in the mid to upper 60s in the suburbs, 75 in the city of Boston. A little cool down there. The Vineyard over to Nantucket, some areas of fog down there as well. So those temperatures are very much side by side with dew point levels. Dew point levels running in the lower 60s, so a bit of mugginess to the air, not over the top oppressive. Very similar to what we've had the last couple of days. Pretty much what you see is what you get, going from yesterday back into today, and that's going to bode well for later on today here, including Boston. Temperatures right around 84 to 86 degrees by midday. Sea breeze will kick in, so we'll kind of flatline there, but nonetheless, it will be very warm. Heading out here, picking out your spot, do expect those temperatures to be on the warm side throughout the afternoon into the early evening hours. Inland, just away from the coastline, temperatures near 90, if not just above it. Drink plenty of water on a day like today, and of course, need the sunscreen too. Expecting plenty of sunshine as we go through the afternoon. Just a few cumulus clouds into the mix. Nice and quiet tonight. We'll talk more on that fireworks forecast and the rest of the 7-day forecast ahead.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Let's take a live look at the hatch shell down on the Esplanade. It looks calm now, but that's all going to change in just a few hours. Thousands of people are expected to pack in to celebrate the 4th of July.
You excited?
Yes,
you ready?
I'm excited. You got my red on.
We're all dressed festive for the big holiday. There are some key things, though, that you need to know before you get in line to wait through security. And you see people already lined up. John Coco, live in the Esplanade with details. And John, have these people been lined up since you got there this morning?
They have been, Chris, probably for longer than me getting here at 4 o'clock this morning. Every year, we know there's a certain excitement with this show. And with that excitement comes a certain commitment. And this is what I'm talking about right here. I'll step out of the way. If we zoom in, you can see those people lined up there waiting for those gates to open later this morning, trying to get that premier spot out there on the Esplanade. But this is actually new. Take a check over here. You can see on the opposite side of the path here, there are people actually in sleeping bags set up on that side. That's something new. That's something I haven't seen before in my years doing this event. But every year, as I said, there's that excitement because this is supposed to be a spectacular show.
Fuck off.
Last night was just the warm-up. While it was packed Wednesday.
This is the first time that we come out, or first time we're in town for it, and just we moved to Boston almost 4 years ago now, and the community and just everybody coming together is just absolutely
Shut the
fantastic.
fuck up.
Tonight,
Sound like a
it's the
fucking
real
asshole.
deal. The full fireworks spectacular.
Make me
And
fucking
there's a few
sick.
things to keep in mind.
The
Gates open
community
at 9.
comes
That's when
together.
you see the mad dash of people who've been waiting
Yeah,
in
mad
hours
dash.
and
Look
hours
at 'em.
trying to get that perfect spot for the show.
Happy Independence Day, America!
Happy, go
And
fuck
it's
yourself.
going to be a hot one today. So staying hydrated will be key. Lots and lots of water.
It'll be key. But no water bottles are allowed. Bag.
So here's the deal. People are lined up now. More people continue to come in. They're ready for this show.
Yeah.
They can't wait for later tonight.
Hey,
That's the
fucking
latest
nobody
live here
shows
along
the
the
fuck up. Look at
Esplanade.
the
John
line.
Coco, 7 News.
They show
Today
you
in New
fucking
England.
15
Thousands
people.
of people
Who's the
expected to
line?
pack onto the grass at the Esplanade today when those
fucking
gates
homo
open up
cop.
at 9 o'clock. And as John
Make me
mentioned,
sick.
people have been lined up since early this morning. Law enforcement officials stepping up to
EOD.
security to make sure that everything goes smoothly and everybody's safe. It's always the priority.
Right.
Carrie Corrado continues our team coverage this morning with more on that security plan. Carrie, good morning.
Chris, good morning. City officials want to make sure everyone doesn't have too much fun, that they forget about their health in this heat. So they have one piece of key advice for everyone headed to the festivities. Red, white, and tight security.
Yeah.
As thousands of people flood the Esplanade for a fun-filled 4th of July celebration by the shores of the
Are you
Charles River.
driving?
Visitors will see a large uniformed presence along the Esplanade. State police will be on foot,
Look at this
but also
fucking
on bikes,
crackhead in the back with the blue
motorcycles, and
tie.
horses.
Police will be
Fucking
patrolling
idiot,
by
CIA
air,
nigga.
water, and on the T to make sure those celebrating are
EOD.
safe. Law enforcement is also asking the public to help keep a close watch and
Ugh.
notify them if anything seems out of the ordinary.
Our most valuable public safety asset will be the members of the public.
If you are headed to the fun-filled festivities, coolers on wheels, backpacks, weapons, alcohol, and drones are not allowed. As for what's allowed, pop-up tents or canopies without sides, blankets or tarps, and coolers with a shoulder strap or a single handle. So let the singing and dancing
Stupid.
begin as Boston enjoys
Gonna
a
be
safe
here all fucking
and
day,
secure
right?
spectacular.
Come and enjoy the show, and let's make sure this is another wonderful, safe, celebratory moment here in the Cradle
The
of Liberty.
state's biggest rat. Governor Rat.
So again, police can't stress enough that even though they will be patrolling this area, they do want to make sure that the public is their second set of eyes out here.
Shut the
Live
fuck
in
up.
Boston
Rat
on this
on
4th of
yourself.
July morning. Carrie Corrado, 7
Well,
News.
rat on your mother.
Today, New
She's a
England.
whore.
How many of you are planning to come into town for today's big celebration? A lot. Look at the ones already lined up. They've been there since dark and early this morning. And Elena Pinto
yeah. They're
is
in a
live
special
on the
little
Esplanade
zone.
with important
Crisis
information you need to
actor
know
seats.
about traffic. I mean, general commuting is going to be easy
Fucking
today, but coming into
scummer.
the city may be tough, Elena.
Another whore.
Yeah, if you're coming in for the fireworks show, that could be a little bit difficult. And there are already a lot of lane and road closures in effect, along with parking bans. The list is pretty overwhelming, so you can find them
Yeah,
all
so why would you
online,
go there?
WHDH.com. But I'm going to tell you about some of the big ones that could affect your commute. At
There'll be
7
more
a.m.,
fucking cops
Sorrow
there than
Drive
people
is going
watching
to
it.
shut down completely in both directions. That's from Kenmore Square to the Leverett Circle. And then at 4 p.m., the Longfellow Bridge, the Mass Ave Bridge, and Memorial Drive in Cambridge are all closed. There are a lot of closures that you will have to avoid. So honestly, I think your best bet is going to be to take the T to come into the city. They're operating today on a weekend schedule, but at 2 o'clock, they're operating at rush hour service, so there will be a lot of trains going back and forth. And it's free after 9:30 p.m., so once the show is over, you can get back to wherever you need to go for free. Also, if you're taking the commuter trains, they are on a Saturday schedule, and most of the trains, their last one will leave North and South Station around 11:45 p.m. at night. But again, if you're coming into the city, avoid the parking situation. Just take the T. Maybe walk if you're closer, or ride a bike. We'll have more coming
Good
up in a bit. Back
facial
to you guys.
expressions. Whore.
All right, there are already lane closures in effect, along with those parking bans that Elena just told us about. Coming up at 5:30, he is the conductor, the maestro, Keith Lockhart. We're going to go one-on-one with Keith Lockhart and talk to him. He's been doing this for 25 years. This is his 25th Esplanade extravaganza, and he's going to tell us all about it, what keeps him going, and what to expect this year. And don't forget, tune in to 7 tonight at 8 o'clock, where you can catch the Boston Pops Esplanade extravaganza live here on the news station. You provide your food and drinks in the comfort of your home, and we'll provide the entertainment for you. You can also watch it on Bloomberg TV and listen on Bloomberg Radio.
On Bloomberg.
President Trump planning a star-spangled show in Washington, D.C. today. It's causing a lot of controversy, but the president says it's going to wow everyone.
Rat of the country, here he comes.
America's
idiots.
military might on display at the National Mall for what President Trump promises will be the show of a lifetime.
And we're going to have planes going overhead, the
I think
best
somebody would
fighter
get that
jets in the world.
motherfucker, really.
But with just hours to go until one of the country's biggest 4th of July celebrations, President Trump is playing defense against claims his display is more about politics than patriotism. And brushing aside concerns about the cost of his salute to America, a number that has not been released. The president saying the cost, quote, will be very little compared to what it is worth.
Donald Trump is handing out tickets to his big donors. That's a campaign event. And if he's going to do a campaign event, then it should be paid for by his campaign contributions. It should not be paid for by the American taxpayer.
While the White House insists the salute to America will not be political, some of his opponents say the president is forgetting what Independence Day is all about.
He misses the whole point about why we're the country we are. We should celebrate freedom. We should celebrate why we're the people we are. But it doesn't surprise me.
Keep your hands where we can see
Post
them,
reports
Joe.
$2.5 million redirected by the National Park Service from visitor fees and improvement funds to help pay for the event is just a fraction of the government's bill.
New this morning, police and firefighters responding to a fire at the Randolph Town Hall, believed to be caused by fireworks, and this was the scene there last night.
You can see there's
the
a
big
blaze
response.
and
The fire
fire.
damaged
It's everywhere.
a rooftop air conditioning unit and part of that
blazing.
roof. We're following more news today. A stabbing at a Worcester restaurant turning even more violent when 2 people are now in the hospital after suffering stab wounds. One of them, a Good Samaritan, who stepped in to try and stop this attack.
A Good
Juliana
Samaritan.
Mazza is live in Worcester with the
Jesus,
details of
look
what
at that
happened there
fucking
last night.
face.
Juliana, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. And that Good Samaritan was just passing through. He's from Connecticut and just so happened to be here inside O'Connor's restaurant and bar at the time of that stabbing. He risked his life to make sure the victim, who's still fighting for her life, gets the justice that she deserves.
Fuck out of here.
We just started hearing a scream and screaming from a lady that, sort of help me.
A woman is in the hospital fighting for her life after police say she was stabbed multiple times inside a Worcester bar. And thanks to a group of Good Samaritans, the suspect is in custody.
My son jumped up and he ran out, with a couple other gentlemen, and he was the first one that made the tackle.
Alan Corson says his son, Alan Jr., was inside O'Connor's bar and restaurant at the time of the stabbing. He and a group of others pinned the suspect down until police arrived, risking their own lives.
He didn't even realize he got a knife wound to his back, so he got cut from the gentleman with the knives.
The woman was seriously hurt. Alan's son expected to be okay.
He now is headed to UMass, and we're headed there to, as far as we know, he'll be fine, but he's going to have to get some stitches and so on. Makes you think. No matter where you are, something like this can happen.
You're going to get some stitches and things.
Police say that this was not a random attack. We are still waiting to find out the motive and the connection between the suspect and the victim. That suspect was taken to the hospital, and charges will be forthcoming. That's the latest here in Worcester. Juliana Mazza, 7 News. Today in New England.
Bagel.
3 Brockton police officers are recovering this morning after a number of cruiser collisions during a stolen car chase. Investigators say the high-speed chase happened Wednesday after an officer spotted a stolen car and tried to pull it over. The driver is now under arrest. Police say one officer is being treated for serious injuries. The other 2 have minor injuries.
New this morning now, a plane forced to land in a field in Lawrence. Here's a map to show you where the airport is. The plane landed around 8:30 last night, 1.5 miles away from the airport. There were no passengers on board. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating this incident.
Time now is 5:14 on your Thursday. More news ahead on Today in New England. The steps towns on the Cape are taking to keep people safe after some recent shark sightings.
And our coverage of the 4th of July celebration continues. Live look at the Hatch Shell, where the stage is set. Everything's ready to go. We'll tell you what you need to know before you head down to the Esplanade for tonight's fireworks and concert. We'll be right
Beautiful
back.
summer weather continuing here on this 4th of July down on the Charles River. We'll take a look at the fireworks forecast and what to expect over the next 7 days ahead.
I hate these fucking people. I do. I fucking hate their guts. Rat motherfuckers, every one of them. Fucking no shit. People suck right up to that shit.